Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be discussing the 11th house of the Zodiac wheel. In astrology, the 11th house is known as the house of friendships, social networks, hopes, dreams, and collective aspirations. It represents how you connect with groups, communities, and larger social movements. This house also governs your long-term goals, the rewards from your career like recognition and success, and the people who support your growth. Key themes of the 11th house are friendships and social circles, community, networks, technology, innovation, humanitarian efforts, and wealth from your career. The type of friends you attract, the role you play in social groups, and how you collaborate with others is also found in the 11th house. Your involvement in organizations, social causes, or group activities, your long-term aspirations, ambitions, and the kind of support you receive to achieve them. In modern astrology, this house is linked to advancements, the internet, and futuristic thinking. How you contribute to society and the greater good. Unlike the 10th house, the career itself, the 11th house shows the financial and social gains that come from your work. In Greco-Roman mythology, the 11th house in astrology can be associated with gods, heroes, and themes linked to friendship, community, alliances, aspirations, and the collective good. While the 11th house itself does not have a single ruling deity, in ancient mythology, it aligns with figures that represent camaraderie, idealism, and social structures. Possible mythological connections to the 11th house. We have Hermes, the messenger and the connector, god of communication, trade, and networks, often acting as a bridge between gods and humans. As a patron of travelers and merchants, Hermes represents social connections, networking, and the flow of ideas, key themes of the 11th house. He was also linked to alliances and diplomacy, traits that resonate with cooperative nature of this house. Then there's Juno, patron of alliances and social structures. Juno was not just the goddess of marriage, but also of social contracts, alliances, and collective structures. The 11th house governs group affiliations, and Juno's role in maintaining order among gods and mortals ties into this theme. She represents the bonds that holds groups together, whether through loyalty, law, or shared purpose. Then there's Prometheus, the visionary and humanitarian. Prometheus, the Titan who stole fire for humanity, embodies the progressive humanitarian spirit of the 11th house. This house is often linked to revolution, innovation, and fighting for the greater good, much like Prometheus' defiance of the gods to uplift humanity. His story reflects the struggles and sacrifices involved in pushing for collective progress. Aquarius and Ganymede, the water bearer's symbolism. The 11th house is traditionally associated with Aquarius, whose mythical figure is Ganymede, the beautiful mortal abducted by Zeus to serve as the cupbearer of the gods. Ganymede symbolizes divine favor, friendship with the gods, and the exchange of wisdom, all themes of this house. As the water bearer, he represents pouring knowledge, hope, and innovation into society. Then we have Bacchus, god of community, festivals, and social freedom. Bacchus was the god of wine, revelry, and communal experiences. His cult emphasized unity, liberation, and breaking societal norms, much like the 11th house's connection to social movements and unconventional ideals. He represents the power of friendships, collective joy, and visionary ideals that reshape society. In Vedic astrology, the 11th house is known as the Labha Bhava, meaning the house of gains, desires, income, and fulfillment of wishes. It is one of the most important houses for material success, financial prosperity, and social connections. Significance of the 11th house in Vedic astrology: wealth and gains. Represents financial earnings, profits from business, salary, and wealth accumulation. Desires and aspirations. Shows the fulfillment of wishes and long-term goals in life. Friendships and social network. Governs social circles, professional connections, and influential friends. This house also governs our elder siblings, specifically represents elder brothers and sisters in a family. Awards and achievements. Indicates recognition, success, and rewards from hard work. Community and society. Shows involvement in social groups, humanitarian efforts, and networking. Health and longevity. Since it is the 6th house, from the 6th house, it can indicate overcoming health challenges. Elder siblings, uncles from the paternal side, and friends who act like family are governed by the 11th house. In some cases, it is also linked to the paternal uncle or the father's brothers. And then we have close friends who provide support and guidance can also be represented here. The natural ruler of the 11th house is Saturn, as it governs Aquarius, a sign naturally associated with networking, gains, and social order. However, in an individual chart, the zodiac sign on the 11th house cusp and its planetary ruler will determine how one experiences gains and friendships. In Western astrology, the 11th house governs careers and industries related to networking, technology, social progress, group efforts, and humanitarian causes. This house represents long-term aspirations, professional gains, and the communities that support one's career success. While the 10th house, or the midheaven, rules one's career path and reputation, the 11th house shows the rewards, financial gains, and social impact of one's work. Careers and industries governed by the 11th house are as follows: technology and innovation, software development and IT services, artificial intelligence and robotics, space exploration and aerospace, data science and analytics, cybersecurity, social media and digital marketing. Then we have humanitarianism and social work, nonprofit organizations, social justice and activism, human rights advocacy, environmental and sustainability work, community organizing. Then we have politics, diplomacy, and governance, government and public policy. Political strategy and campaigning is governed by the 11th house. International relations, United Nations law and social reform is governed by the 11th house. Then we have science and research, astronomy and astrophysics, psychology and sociology, medical research, alternative medicine and holistic healing, business and entrepreneurship, Startups and venture capitalism is governed and ruled by the 11th house. Crowdfunding platforms, network marketing and multi-level marketing, trade and global business expansions are governed and seen through the 11th house. Media and entertainment specifically focused on mass influence. Social media influencing, TV and radio broadcasting, podcasting and blogging, science fiction writing and futurism. Financial gains and investments, stock market and trading, cryptocurrency and blockchain technology, wealth management can be seen through the 11th house. Aviation and space careers, astronauts, aerospace engineering and aviation management, astrology and esoteric studies, astrologers, metaphysical researchers, occult and mysticism experts are also found in the 11th house. In astrology and numerology, the 11th house is associated with the numbers that reflect collective consciousness, innovation, networking, and gains. The primary numbers connected to the 11th house come from its astrological rulership and numerological significance. The number 11 is a master number, the house's core vibration. The 11th house naturally resonates with the master number 11, which represents spiritual insight, higher consciousness, and visionary ideas. It aligns with intuition, inspiration, idealism, and leadership in group settings. People with strong 11 energy are often drawn to humanitarian causes, innovation, and futuristic thinking, just like the 11th house in astrology. The number 4, Uranus and structure in society. In numerology, 4 is ruled by Uranus, modern-day ruler of Aquarius, which governs the 11th house in modern astrology. It represents rebellion and unconventional thinking, traits deeply connected to the 11th house of social change and futuristic ideals. This number is linked to community building, structured networking, and long-term aspirations. The number 8, Saturn's influence, traditional ruler of Aquarius. In traditional astrology, the 11th house is ruled by Saturn. 8 is Saturn's number, representing karma, wealth, and gains through discipline and networking, which is exactly what the 11th house signifies in Vedic astrology. It is linked to long-term success, ambition, and power within organizations or social structures. The number 22, master builder of societal change. 22 is a master number and the most powerful form of the number 4. It represents with creating legacies, large-scale social influence, and groundbreaking innovations, all major 11th house themes. This number often appears in visionaries, politicians, humanitarians, and revolutionaries who seek to impact the collective. The frequency of 528 Hz, which is transformation and social harmony. In sound healing and numerology, 528 Hz is known as the love frequency, which is believed to promote healing, positive social change, and personal growth. Since the 11th house governs friendships and collective aspirations, this frequency aligns with its themes of unity, idealism, and social innovation. The 11th house is traditionally ruled by Uranus, which carries a high-frequency vibration of sudden awakenings, rebellion, and breakthroughs. This electrifying energy is associated with higher knowledge, genius thinking, and disrupting outdated systems. The 11th house is the house of gains, which includes returns on investments, dividends, and speculative profits. A strong 11th house in a person's chart favors success in the stock market and other financial ventures, market trends, and collective influence. Since the 11th house rules social networks and group efforts, it governs mass movements in the market, bull and bear trends. It shows how public sentiment, economic policies, and global events influence stock prices. Speculation and risk-taking is a fifth house thing, and the fifth house represents speculation, but the 11th house shows actual financial gains from speculation. The 11th house and its ruler are strong. A person can profit from investments in stocks, crypto, and venture capital. In modern astrology, the 11th house governs technology and futuristic industry. This house is heavily linked to online trading, cryptocurrency, fintech, and tech stock investments. People with a strong 11th house often benefit from networking in the financial world or collaborating with investment groups. The 11th house governs financial institutions, hedge funds, and collective trading markets such as mutual funds and index funds. And that's all I have for the 11th house. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Have a good one.